Hello there, and welcome back to the Agostino Zinga show with your host, Agostino Zinga, and this is episode number 904. That is Nueve Zero Cinco of the Agostino Zinga show, coming at you live and direct from an undisclosed location somewhere within the depths of London. How you doing? How you feeling, ladies and gentlemen? How you doing? How you feeling? Great, amazing, good to know. How am I? I'm feeling good. I'm a tad sweaty, I'm not gonna lie. If you're watching this via YouTube, you will see my face is looking a bit flustered. I look a little bit warm. I look a little bit wet. And the reason being is because I just got back from the gym and I just had a really late night meal. So I've got a combination of all the heat and all the condensation from the gym. And I've also got all the heat and cooking and whatever else it may be from my late night meal, which was a combination of like sweet potatoes that were diced up, chucked into a flipping air fryer with some minced meat and shit, and some gochujang, whatever that Korean flipping sauce tomato thing is, whatever, to spice up a little bit. Not the greatest meal, but obviously something that you need to do if you want to get cut up like I do for the summer coming up and fit back into all my nice Rick Owens, Joy W. Anderson, Louis garms. One thing I did realize that was really interesting when I was in the gym today was, wow, you can definitely tell it's the summer, innit? Definitely tell summer beach season's incoming, because I haven't seen the entire time I've been going to the gym for the last few months of the from the beginning of the year to now. I've not seen it as packed as I've seen it now. It was absolutely rammed, but it was a good type of ram. It was a type of ram where everyone was on their station, everyone was doing a workout and not just faffing around on their phone. People were like actually doing stuff. So by the time I got there, which was just about 5 minutes past 8, some people wrapping up, so you could tell, okay, this person's been on the station for like half an hour, maybe an hour, they're wrapping up now, and then you could jump straight on. So even though it looked really big and even though it looked really packed and busy, it wasn't, which I've kind of learned to do these days. Sometimes when I go to the gym, I can get a bit, I won't say I get flustered, but I get sometimes annoyed, especially if all the stuff's been taken. But if you just take a deep breath and look around, you'll definitely notice that the places that you think have been taken haven't, especially when it's busy. People tend to leave their bags in places. They tend to leave dumbbells, barbells in places, and you think that person's using it, but no one's using it. So if you just look around quickly, or just take a beat and not kind of rush into it, or not kind of get pissed off straight away and think, oh, there's nothing left, I'm pissed off, now I'm gonna have to use kettlebells, and just start doing burpees in the middle of nowhere, you can definitely find something to flip and do. So I was happy about that. Got my little station, did my little workout, pumped it out, and got some cardio in at the end as well. So I'm feeling good. I'm really, 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 really feeling good. But I'm just warm. The only thing I hate about the summer, I'm a really sweaty guy. I'm a really, really sweaty guy in general. So when the summer comes about, I just start leaking. You get what I mean? My hay fever starts to get up. Yeah, I got my allergies situation, which I've actually sorted because I bought a bunch of pills. Actually, I got them over there. I actually bought a bunch of anti-allergy pills the other day, so I'm kind of stocked up with the allergy pills, but the heat, man, my body just melts. I just start perspirating. I just start like shooting out liquid. This flipping, it's gross. It really is. Part of the reason why I don't even like raving during the summer as well. I kind of like, even the raving thing, I kind of like, you know what? I can't do this, man. I'm just too warm. I'm just too sweaty. I'm just too leaky. But we're here anyway. We're here anyway. Thank you for joining me. Thank you for joining me. So today's show, we're going to be mostly covering this breaking news that I saw all over the timeline yesterday, or last night actually, and it really took me by surprise. I didn't see this one coming. And I'm also thinking off the back of this particular story, I'm wondering if we owe somebody an apology, or specifically if I owe somebody an apology. And what am I talking about? I'm talking about Tyshawn Jones, the legendary skater, young legend as it is. I think he's a 2-time Trans World Skater of the Year. Trans World, Thrasher for Trans World, Thrasher Skater of the Year, killing it, and definitely one of the better models for Supreme in recent years as well. And I hadn't noticed that he hadn't been modeling for Supreme in recent years, but he has been a part of their team for a very long time, from the time that he was basically a kid all the way until he's a young man now. He's also got his own brand, if I'm not mistaken. I've got the brand that he has. I wish I remember the name. I also remember him seeing some bits about him doing some sort of street food thing, whatever. All around entrepreneur, all around a hustler, and just an amazing skateboarder as well to watch and to just check out. Even if you don't understand skateboarding, Tyshawn Jones is an incredible skater to just check out because of the pop, how high he gets up, and some of the spots that he skated are just like, you just think to yourself like, Jesus Christ, I don't even know how I'd push down this, let alone do a fucking backside whatever. Do you know what I mean? He's fucking amazing. Anyways, this news broke on my timeline, and it really fucking took me by surprise, because this is the headline courtesy of New York Post. Top NYC skater known as a Michael Jordan of the sport, it's a bit too much by the way, a little bit too much sauce on that, sues streetwear giant Supreme for an eye-popping $26 million and claims the brand destroyed his career. Did you hear that? Tyshawn Jones is suing Supreme New York, yes, James W. Supreme, for $26 million. So I'm sitting here wondering to myself, do I owe Tremaine Emory an apology? Do we owe Tremaine Emory, founder of Denim Tears and former creative director of Supreme for a very short time, do we all owe him an apology? Because maybe Tremaine was onto something. Maybe he went about it the wrong way. Maybe he was the wrong messenger, right? But maybe he was onto something. Maybe Tremaine wasn't lying. Maybe Tremaine saw something. Maybe Tremaine felt something, but he just maybe couldn't articulate himself. Couldn't put it across in a way that didn't make him sound like a bit of a wanker. Didn't make him sound a bit entitled. Didn't make him sound a little bit delusional. Whatever it may be. Maybe Tremaine was right all along, and we got it all completely wrong, which makes sense because he's on the inside, we're on the outside. We're just seeing stuff online. We're also getting one side of the argument from Tremaine, and he sounds like he's whining and complaining and throwing his toys out the pram and acting like a bit of a brat and whatever it may be. But we're not seeing the other side of what they were doing behind the scenes, because a skater like Tyshawn Jones, who's essentially, if you think about it, Tyshawn kind of owes his career a little bit to Thrasher and Supreme, you would say. I'm not sure if I'm going a bit too extreme here, if I'm going too far, but I think I'm not. I think Tyshawn probably owns a lot of his career to probably Supreme and to flipping Thrasher. There was the two main people, main companies, main brands, main platforms that kind of, propelled him to skateboarding stardom. Even though he was always going to get there because he's incredibly talented, those two places definitely, especially Supreme. So for Tyshawn Jones to sue Supreme for $26 million, this must be serious. This must be a real serious issue. Especially from the fact that he's going on to say the brand destroyed his career. That is crazy, because I'm assuming the $26 million is for all the earnings that he's lost off the back of maybe Supreme sullying his name or whatever it may be. This is crazy, man. I didn't know the streetwear skateboarding scene was like this. I didn't know it got this crazy. This is pretty wild. So let's read the article here, courtesy of the New York Post. Streetwear giant Supreme killed a major sponsorship deal with a top skateboarder and then spread malicious rumors blaming him for the fallout, a new $26 million lawsuit alleges. Tyshawn Jones, a 26-year-old pro skater from Bronx, hailed as the best in the sport, is sued Supreme for not Tyshawn Jones, 26-year-old pro skater from the Bronx, hailed as the best in the sport, is sued Supreme not just arbitrarily for killing his $1 million deal, which I didn't know. That's pretty sick, by the way. He got paid $1 million a year to basically skate for Supreme, and his 13-year relationship with the brand, but also destroying his young career by effectively blacklisting him. Wow, he was linked up with Supreme for 13 years. Shit. So most likely he became a multi-millionaire off the back of Supreme. So if he's suing them, this must be serious, because he owes them a lot. They basically put him on, kind of, along with Thrasher. They also paid him a lot of money. He also, and basically changed his life, allowed him to start his own brand, most likely, allowed him to probably move out of the hood, which makes sense, by the way. Every time I saw Tyshawn Jones on social, this makes a lot of sense. No wonder he's always been paid a lot. Whenever I've seen Tyshawn Jones on social, yes, he skates really hard and shit, but he does look very shiny. He's always like, he looks like he takes care of himself, He's always got a good trim on, got some nice rings, jewelry pieces, always decked out in the latest whatever maybe. So that makes sense. He was getting paid $1 million a year, but he still has an issue with them. So definitely they did something. Let's find out what they did, because I'm curious to see what happened and why he's suing them for $26 million. I'm saddened it has come to this, but I have a duty to myself and my career and feel responsibility to the next generation of skateboarders to stand up for what is right, Jones told the Post on Monday. Wow, so Tyshawn Jones gave a quote to the New York Post. So this is serious. Supreme's success has been shaped in large part by the contributions of young talent, and I believe these contributions deserve to be respected. Wow, this sounds like exactly the thing that Tremaine was saying. This sounds exactly like what Tremaine was saying about Supreme success being largely built on the back of black talent, right? Of black artistry, black creativity. But then Supreme also being uncomfortable with Tremaine pushing a lot of these black iconography or whatever it may be, right? Pushing that kind of image or message when he was creative director over there. He kind of got really pissed off at that. Basically, Tyshawn Jones is saying the same thing Tremaine said, but in a different way. God almighty, this is wild. I think we might all owe Tremaine Emory an apology. I'm not going to lie. Jones, a worldwide phenom, considered by many as a Michael Jordan of the sport, is known for his impressive skating feats across New York City, a talent that Supreme picked up early when he offered him a sponsorship when he was only 13 years old. But after Supreme killed the deal last September, in an alleged effort to quickly shed cost, other brands started backing away from Jones too, he claims, in a lawsuit filed on Monday, Manhattan Supreme Court. Oh, so Supreme cut Tyshawn Jones last year in an effort to save money. So what's going on with Supreme then? What's the deal? Didn't they recently open a store in like Korea or something? Or am I bugging? Didn't they recently open a store somewhere? So what's happening with Supreme? What's the actual truth here? Yeah, they opened a store recently in Miami. All these collaborations dropped, but then they're cutting skateboarders off. They're ending skateboarders' partnerships or sponsorships in an order to save money, but then they're opening stores in Miami. What's going on? What is actually going on here? There's Tyshawn Jones featured in an advert for Marc Jacobs. Let's continue. Supreme allegedly told multiple third parties Tyshawn was kicked off Supreme for breaching his agreement with them, citing a photo shoot last year where Jones was dressed up in another brand's clothes, the suit states. Oh, Supreme are saying that he broke their agreement because he was dressed in Marc Jacobs. He was modeling for Marc Jacobs. But I guess he's arguing that they just use that as an excuse to probably get rid of him to save cost. What? This is so messy. But Supreme had never raised concerns in the past over similar. So exactly, that doesn't make sense, because I'm sure I've seen Tyshawn Jones modeling for bare other companies during the time that he was signed to Supreme. And also that's part of the thing, like Supreme want the coolest people to be modeling their brand. So if you're modeling for Supreme, it probably helps if you're also modeling for Marc Jacobs, if you're also walking the runway for Balenciaga, if you're also featured in a Nike campaign, Adidas, whatever, it doesn't matter, because it kind of adds to your cachet, adds to your kind of clout, you know what I mean, when you're modeling for Supreme. That makes no sense. But Supreme had never raised concerns over in the past over similar photo shoots, and actually kicked Jones to the curb in a desperate effort to ditch his debt and stock obligations to the skater before the company was to be sold to. Oh my God, that is scummy. That is so scummy if true. Supreme, man, this breaks my heart, bro. I love the brand, but this breaks my heart. Let's listen to this. But Supreme had never raised concerns in the past over similar photo shoots, and actually kicked Tyshawn Jones to the curb in a desperate effort to ditch his debt and stock obligations to the skater before the company was sold to eyewear giant Luxottica. In the suit alleges, yeah, they got sold to Luxottica recently, isn't it? That is crazy, bro. So they ditched him because he had stock options. By the way, smart boy Tyshawn Jones, smart kid, man, smart kid. He was getting paid a salary or getting paid a set fee, and he also got stock options. That's a very smart boy. And then of course they kicked him off the team, which I guess effectively ended the stock options, but just before they got sold to Luxottica so that they wouldn't have to pay him more. You know what this smells like? I'm not gonna lie, you know what this smells like? This smells a little bit similar to what happened to the guy from that Janoski guy, kind of Janoski, Stefan Janoski. I feel like when his shoes were doing really popular, were doing really well at the beginning, if I'm not mistaken, the law about it was that he had stocks, he had shares in that particular shoe sales. So he got paid a small amount, but then he had shares, and the shoe went, it went fucking crazy, the fucking Stefan Janoskis, and he got paid bears. But then Nike didn't want to keep paying him, so they bought him out of his contract in the end. I think with a lot of millions, but still, they kind of, hey, no more stock options. So it seems a lot of these companies, they don't like you to hold on to your stock options. You know what I mean? Because they don't want to pay it. They'd rather pay you a set fee, which also means that they can get rid of you when you want, but they don't want you to have any stock in the company. I'd imagine, especially Supreme, not a young black man as well. That's pretty fucking crazy. Supreme's termination is a pretext for cutting costs of filing claims. Doubling down on their bad faith, willful breach, Supreme though several statements both let's say that again. Doubling down on their bad faith and willful breach, Supreme through several statements both impressionable and false, has widely disparaged Tyshawn as a liability, a risk, and someone no brand would want to affiliate with. You know what this also reminds me of? Even though I didn't have the best experience with this guy, fucking what's his name? Lucian Clark, the skater for fucking Palace, also skates for DC and shit. Am I not mistaken? Lucian had the same issue with Supreme, kind of. When Supreme store in London first opened, wasn't there a rumor that Lucian was working there, I think, as a sales assistant, and then he got fired because I think he was turning up late or drunk or high. I don't know what happened, but I remember there was like a rumor being spread around him for a bit about that kind of a bad rumor. I'm not sure what it was, especially people that know who are a bit more plugged in me. Maybe comment on it after I clip this up and put it on my YouTube and shit. Let me know. But I'm pretty sure there was something about Lucian at Supreme when he got fired from there. But then it was weird because he still was modeling for them after for a bit. So I'm not too sure if there was actually an issue or if he just stopped working there because he couldn't bother to turn up on time or shit. I don't know. But I remember there was something similar where there was rumors being put out about him being hard to work with, him being not a good worker, not turning up on time, turning up high, turning up drunk. So I think Supreme have a little bit of previous of doing this, like going out of their way to sully somebody's name. And also think about the Tremaine stuff as well. Like, to be honest, oh yeah, that's what I got to say. Who was it? Big up the person. I forgot who you are. Big up the person who privately emailed me. I wouldn't even remember who you was. I'm not even going to reveal who you are because I don't remember who it is. But somebody privately emailed me at the time that Tremaine Emory shit was going down on Supreme, when I was talking about him kind of, leaving and the fallout for that. And they basically said something along the lines of like, oh yeah, I worked there too. And the company is kind of fucked. Like, Tremaine obviously is a bit of a nightmare to deal with. The person said in the email. So Tremaine, if you're watching this, no offense, but the person did say Tremaine is a bit of a nightmare, but he's not wrong. It actually is a bit hard to work there, especially as a black person in the head office, blah, 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 culture, I remember somebody saying that. I don't know why I forgot to mention it on the fucking pod, but I remember somebody directly either DMing me or emailing me and saying that's the case. So I think they've got some previous, man. It's odd, isn't it? It seems like if you're on the team, and if you're just getting free bits and pieces, like if you're getting stuff from the shop, if you get discount, if you're able to pull stuff from the stock room or get stuff before it drops, you're on seeding, I think Supreme deal with you pretty good, But I think if you're like in the head office or you're trying to get involved in the boardroom level or have stocks and shares and you're a negro, right? It's a bit of an issue. They make it really difficult. Because I don't hear anybody complain who like is on the seeding level. The only complaints so far we've heard from people who are both black are the ones who are involved in the C-suite, let's say upper levels, right? The ones who have stocks, the ones who are working in the head office like Tremaine was. That's who suddenly has issues. But I haven't heard of a single person in the shop that's had an issue, which is kind of insane, to be honest. It's almost like they're trying to keep you at a certain level. Jones began skating at the age of 10, quickly gained fame and notoriety for his niche sports, landing an Adidas shoe deal in 2019. In both 2018 and 2020, Jones was named Skater of the Year by Fashion Magazine, considered to be one of the sport's highest accolades, but one of the earliest backers of Supreme, the suit states. But one of his earliest backers was Supreme. Yeah, that's his brand too, right? He's got his own brand. I think that's what was it called? Is it Brody's, Crodies? I think they make boxes as well and shit. He's got his own brand as well. The name Tyshawn and Supreme go hand in hand, the suit says, akin to a relationship shared by Nike and Michael Jordan. That all ended in September when Supreme told Jones that their multi-million-dollar deal was over, with the 15 months left on a contract which paid the skater $1 million per year. Supreme called an August 2024 photo shoot with Jones in which Jones wore Marc Jacobs branding clothing, an incurable breach of his contract, according to a lawsuit. Now, I think they were fishing for it. I think they were waiting for him to do something. They wanted to get rid of him anyway, so they then saw that Marc Jacobs opportunity and they just kind of acted on it. But in the past, I'm sure if Supreme were making a lot of money and they were good, they would have definitely not gotten rid of him because of that. It was a surprise to Jones, who had taken advantage of modeling and photo shoot opportunities for years, which Supreme encouraged and never objected to, the suit claims. Exactly. Jones has been dressed in brands like Balenciaga. Exactly. So what's the difference between Balenciaga, Bottega Veneta, Louis Vuitton and more? And that started in the 2022 as a global campaign for Tiffany & Co. And if I'm not mistaken, wasn't going back to Lucian, when Lucian was, I'm not sure if does he still even do Supreme? I'm not sure if he's still so much of Supreme, but didn't Lucian, when Virgil was alive, didn't Virgil make like a skate shoe for Lucian under Louis Vuitton? Wasn't he like the first skater that was like signed to Louis Vuitton on their skate team? If I'm not mistaken, I swear that was a thing. So yeah, they've never had an issue with their skaters going off and like modeling for brands and shit, especially fashion brands. There's not a lot of overlap there. Do you know what I mean? If it's like, I don't know, if it's like Kith or something, I understand them being pissed and that being a breach of contract, sorry. But if your skaters are modeling for fucking Balenciaga and fucking Marc Jacobs, that's hardly a competing brand, you'd imagine, if you're Supreme. And if anything, it kind of adds to your cachet. It kind of makes you and him and the brand overall look cooler, you know? But what do I know? There's a picture of him there, wearing a Supreme box logo t-shirt. Soon after the 13-year partnership was dissolved, Jones claims he learned that his old sponsor was trying to cast him as a bad actor. So it wasn't enough that they just cut him. They was also talking bad about him in the scene, behind the scenes, which unfortunately, in a niche subculture like streetwear, like skateboarding, you know, word travels around quickly. And if you're known to be a bit of a pain in the ass, that can really damage your reputation and obviously hurt your ability to earn money and to do certain deals and shit. Like, it's a big thing. Like, it's a lot of that scene is about how much you're liked, you know what I mean, as opposed to how good you are at the job. Whatnot. Obviously Tyshawn is, you know, a great skater, generational one, so he's great anyway, but a lot of that shit is about who likes you, who doesn't like you, who you're friends with, blah 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 blah. So yeah, I can imagine that being a big issue. Through other people in the industry, Jones heard that Supreme was dispensing a narrative that he was at fault, according to the suit. For instance, the photographer Marc Jacobs told Jones when they ran into each other at the Paris Fashion Week in January that Supreme employees told him they were no longer doing business together. Jesus Christ, man. This is so bitchy, so petty, unnecessary. And now Supreme are probably going to have to pay him a lot of money. They will probably end up settling out of court, but they're definitely going to pay. I think he's got a strong case, man. Supreme executives were telling other influential people in the skateboarding and fashion and apparel marketing worlds that they had to terminate Jones' sponsorship, falsely characterizing their termination as forced by Tyshawn's material misconduct. Supreme's disparagement of Tyshawn is fodder for extensive industry gossip, which has quickly spread throughout the fashion, apparel, and skateboarding marketplace. Well, I never heard of this, to be fair. That's kind of the damage of not being around in and around places and stuff anymore, going to stores or openings. I'd never heard that he was even cut from Supreme, or they dropped him, or they ended their partnership, and I didn't hear that they were kind of putting out rumors that he was a bad dude or he did something, you know what I mean, wrong to kind of get the deal annulled. Supreme did not respond to messages for comment. Jones' lawsuit seeks $1.5 million. He claims he was still owed through the contract term, so they didn't even give him the money he was owed. Supreme, man. Honestly, I think we all collectively owed Tremaine a fucking apology. They didn't even pay him out on the money he was owed anyway. So he's seeking that, which you'll definitely get. He's also asking for $25 million in damages for Supreme's alleged wanton egregious conduct towards him to help disincentivize others like situated companies from destroying young athletes' careers with impunity in the name of commercial gain. He's definitely going to get something. He might not get the whole 25, but he's definitely getting his 1.25 million, 100%. And he's definitely going to get a large chunk of that 25. Because this is crazy, bro. That is wild. Like, I wonder why they did that. 13-year relationship. He doesn't seem like a prima donna or anything. He kind of seems to keep his head down, mind his business, do his thing. He's not like a rock star skateboarder in that regard in terms of like drinking and drugs and shit. I don't know, you know, he just seems to be a freak athlete, a freak fucking skateboarder who's incredibly talented with crazy pop, and super fearless. So he seems to be very low maintenance in a way. He's got his own brand popping. He's got his own thing going on as well. It's not like he's only beholden and kind of waiting for Supreme to kind of feed him. So he does his own thing. I don't know. It's a strange thing. He seems to be beloved in the skateboarding world as well. It's a strange situation why Supreme would go out of their way to fall out with him. You know, I wonder why. I wonder why. What happened behind the scenes? I'm sure there's two sides to every story. I'm sure there's something he must have done. I don't think it's a smart Jacobs ad though. I think they're just looking for an excuse to get rid of him. But I wonder what happened behind the scenes that would have led to this fallout, because this is crazy, man. To go from having somebody picking up a kid from when he was the age of 13, essentially building him up, you know, and the brand helping each other hand in hand to kind of build each other up, changing his life, changing the brand's kind of image as well, allowing it to kind of maybe tap into the young kids market and shit and whatever, especially him being a new generation of skaters and shit. And then suddenly it ends like this. Absolutely insane. Absolutely insane. But big up Tyshawn Jones. Hopefully he gets his money. Fingers crossed and shit. But I'm pretty sure he will. It's definitely the money that he's already owed for the time, I think, for the year that he for the 14 months or so that was left on his contract. That 1.25 million, he's definitely going to get that. And I'd imagine he's probably going to get a big chunk of that 25 mil too. Big up Tyshawn Jones. Big up blood clot Tyshawn Jones. Moving on quickly, let's talk about some other Supreme stuff. Supreme have announced they've got a collaboration with Homerun, which from what I've discovered is a New York and Tokyo based clothing brand, which is sick. It kind of reminds me a little bit of Lafayette. There's so many of those type of brands who are like me when I was growing up, who are absolutely obsessed with Supreme, obsessed with New York, obsessed with just skateboarding in general, and kind of mirrored a lot of their style based on what images that you see over there from like old New York video clips and shit. And, you know, watching kids back in the day, big up Larry Clark and all that malarkey. So I'd imagine it's kind of the same sort of thing. But this is courtesy of Supreme and their blurb. It says here, Homerun is a clothing brand based in New York City and Tokyo. Homerun's apparel, accessories and books bring together art, sport and culture. In 2024, Homerun opened a Brooklyn shop where they hosted everything from zine fairs to group runs. Supreme has worked with Homerun on a new collection for spring 2025. So what's available during this collection? We have varsity jackets, or I guess you call them varsity jackets, with Supreme Homerun written on the front. It's kind of like in a silver color, and it's got non-stop on the back as well, which is pretty cool. You've got a baseball shirt that says Supreme and Homerun on the front. That's all right. I like that shirt. Oh, that hat is bad boy. I love the Supreme hat, the new era. You've got the classic Supreme S on the front, and then you've got Homerun in an arc font on either side as well. That looks pretty cool. There's also a nice little hoodie as well there with an illustration. There's a really good, I love the hand style for the Supreme font there. That's really good. Whoever's hand style that is super, super cool. So you've got Supreme here written in a really nice graffiti hand style kind of font as well. Features right on the front there in big bubbly text, and on the back you've got Homerun written on the back as well. I love the O is made to look like a baseball. But yeah, the hand style here is really fucking cool. I ain't mad at that. The amount of time I tried in my life to fucking, you know, draw graffiti, write graffiti. I've got some horrible fucking bits and pieces up in my area somewhere. If you know, you know, that are really, really bad over the years that I tried to do. Definitely doesn't look like this. I can definitely tell you that my hand style does not look like that. Let's just tell you that. Another baseball shirt again. So a baseball shirt, t-shirt, and the varsity jacket. Yeah, that's all they've got available, and that hoodie as well that I showed you there. But yeah, big up Homerun, man. Fucking sick. Oh, and the varsity jacket has the American and Japanese flag on either side of the sleeve, which is a pretty nice touch as well. The jacket comes in silver and black and the red, and then the Homerun. So I love how they're doing this, by the way. I think they did this similar to like with fucking Cortez. They have these collaborations where they sometimes collab with a smaller brand, but it's like a small capsule collection. It's not like a big extensive collection with like, you know, 36 different SKUs. It's just like a couple of bits. I think even the Cortez stuff, it was like a hoodie, a t-shirt. And I love how they're doing this with Homerun, where it's like a smaller company, smaller brand, and they're kind of, you know, working with them on a really small collection. I'm guessing maybe in the future there'll be more stuff, but I think this is really well done. The baseball shirt's really nice as well, and the hoodie. Personally, I prefer the varsity and the fucking t-shirt are probably my favorite. And that hoodie, maybe the varsity and t-shirt are definitely my favorite. Oh, that t-shirt in green, that's tough. That t-shirt in green, or maybe the t-shirt, yeah, maybe these three. The black, green, and red is definitely the one. That's fucking brilliant. I love that. And obviously the varsity. Oh, I love that. It's actually, they've actually got a striped one as well. There's a striped version of that new era hat with the S and the New York and Homerun on the side as well, which is pretty cool. I ain't mad at that in the slightest as well. And also you got a nice Supreme box logo here on the back of the hat as well. So yeah, I'm loving it. And I'm also loving the renaissance of the new eras as well. I feel like everybody's doing a new era now at the moment as well. So big up those as well. New eras have taken over. No more dad hats, thank you. Thankfully, the dad hat trend has finally deaded and died for some people like myself with big fucking domes and massive fucking throws. I'm happy dad hats have gone, and we're now going back to new eras with their nice big boxy fucking shapes that can accommodate my massive skull. So big up the massive skull mandim. Big up the massive skull mandim out there. Also big up Beams. Beams, this is a small quick one. If you don't know, Beams have actually launched an American store. So usually with Beams, you'd have to buy a lot of this stuff via proxy from Japan and get it shipped over. But now Beams have a specific American online store that you can shop from, which I'm imagining you could also ship this stuff to Europe as well, which is good. I've got a bunch of stuff from Beams that I mentioned before. I think I've got like a pea coat. I've got a leather jacket. I've got a long sleeve. I've got a t-shirt and a few other bits. Beams quality, I'd imagine. Me personally, I'd say it's like a little bit. It's like probably like. Do you remember when Uniqlo first came around? It kind of reminds me of that kind of level of stuff. Not Uniqlo now, but when Uniqlo first came around, and it first launched in Europe, it was that sort of quality. And obviously the basics were really nice. But the good thing about Beams is that they kind of have a bit of everything. Like they kind of have, you know, like classic, you know, like army jacket, M65s. They have cargo pants like you see here, nice cardigans, nice button-up shirts. So if you're into something that isn't too flashy or something that can just, you know, slot in and kind of fill in some gaps in your wardrobe in terms of staples, I think you'll be hard pressed to find a better option than Beams. And obviously it's not the Betis brand as well, so you can definitely wear it and not be afraid that you're going to see a bunch of other, you know, spotty 22-year-olds down the street wearing the same thing that you have. And to be fair, the pricing is not too bad. Like for instance, we're looking here online and there's a crazy knit crew neck, which is I think pretty decent, and kind of, you know, let's say a similar brand that would do this type of crew neck would be like an Our Legacy, and this crew neck courtesy of Beams is $184. Now let's be honest, if you try to buy a crew neck like this from Our Legacy, it's definitely going to be way more than $184. So I think they do a good job of doing it. So it's maybe the pricing maybe a bit, from what I can see here, similar to what Stussy does. Stussy's pricing is kind of in that middle ground. It's not like super expensive like a Million d'Or, but it's also not super cheap like a H&M or something, but it's in that middle ground, so you can kind of fill in some of your basics there. There's a nice fade, or that jacket there is actually really nice, that faded duck blouson there. There's a bunch, one of my favorite bits as well is this particular bit here, this faded duck blouson in this denim, which also comes with the matching pants. But there's a bunch of stuff here that I recommend you check out, like this as well, this G9 mod blouson. This is fucking gorgeous actually. I'd wear the fuck out of this. $241, available in all sizes. I'm not too sure everyone actually knows that this Beam store is online yet, so I'll be interested to see how quickly this stuff goes once everybody realizes that Beams has an American online store that you can shop from directly and get the stuff shipped to you in record time. But yeah, a lot of stuff here from Beams is fucking brilliant. I really love it. Please check it out. It really is nice, courtesy there of Beams, as you can see here. I also love this as well, big 6-pocket denim pants as well. A lot of really nice stuff. Oh, look at this distressed leather short blouson, this distressed leather short jacket. I love to say blouson, a Japanese brand using like French terms for their jackets, just makes it a little bit spicier. Oh, look at these big pockets on the front. You can fit a sandwich in there, a book, you know, you can fit a lot of stuff in there, maybe a gat, maybe a little, you know what I mean, a little whatever else a piece in there. That's a really fucking nice jacket actually. I love the shape of it as well. It kind of gives me a little bit of a vintage look, but obviously new as well, and some of the raw edges as well makes it look really fucking nice. What's the material makeup of this actually? Let me see. Details, leather blouson with the atmospheric used finish. Let's see, composition and care. What is it? Is it actually made out of leather? Oh, it actually is. Outer is made out of sheep leather. Lining is 100% polyester. How much is it? $700, right? Yeah, $725. Really fucking nice. So yeah, check out Beams. Loads of great stuff on there. Really highly recommend it. One of my favorites when it comes to basics and just generally loads of really cool stuff, like nice double knee painter pants and shit, nice olive pants, nice shirts, sheath, you know what I mean, jackets, hoodies. Look, they've even got fucking driver's jackets. What's that suit? That those really nice Japanese type of style satin jackets as well. Suka jacket for $288. They've got like a Carhartt chore jacket style thing, a denim loose coveralls for $230. Really nice stuff. Look at some of these knitwears. This mesh knit polo shirt. This is gorgeous there. $161. Oh, that is lovely. I love that. So yeah, check out Beams. Available at beams-america.com. I'll put the link in the description so you can check it out. I'll put the link in the description so you can check it out. Moving on, we also got to talk about this courtesy of Sneaker News. Big up Sneaker News. I actually used to write for the Sneaker News back in the day. Back in the day. It might have been around when I was going to university. I'm not gonna lie. Big up the Central of Minds crew. It might have been around university times when I was trying to make money to just live and shit. And I had absolutely no funds, so I'd write these fucking shitty articles for like $50 and get paid via PayPal. It's fucking cool. I really did love it. Yeah, so back in the day I'd write for, you know, Sneaker News and shit, so it's great to see them back around or still out there doing their thing. They have a news here courtesy of the Air Jordan 4 white cements that are due to drop on Sneaker app very soon. So these dropped a couple years ago, I think, innit, the cement 4s. But the good thing about this retro, or this retro, is that this Jordan 4 is the updated silhouette, the updated shape. So if you don't know, when Nike SB launched the Jordan 4, they kind of updated the silhouette. Eric Costin and co worked on it and made the shape really cool, and it kind of harkens back to when the Jordan 4 actually came out originally, and kind of harkens back to the original kind of sketches that Tinker Hatfield did. They got rid of, I think, a lot of the inlining and inside. I think it doesn't crease as much on the front, and it's got this really nice chamfer near the toe box as well that makes it look a little bit more sleek. So the shape is drastically improved. I think a lot of people say the shape on those Jordan 4, the pine ones, the white and pine SBs, are some of the best ever. But now, luckily for us, all the Jordan 4s going forward are going to have that exact same shape. Obviously they're doing it just to cut costs, because, you know, there's no point making a G, there's no point having a non-SB version of a Jordan 4 and also having a Jordan 4 shape. But I just love the fact that this is the thing now, and all Jordan 4s going forward are going to have this amazing shape that we've all seen and love via the Jordan 4 SBs. So let's read the blurb courtesy of Sneaker News. In what will go down as one of the story of the year for the Jordan Retro, the Air Jordan 4 Cement 4 stands among the giants as a potential record-breaking release. On May 24th, 2025, a mass wave of sneakerheads will flock to stores to secure the greatest Air Jordan ever made. The history of the Air Jordan 4 white cement was well documented. Born in 1989, the stylish yet simplistic take on Tinker Hatfield's design was not only a hit on the court by a true icon of cultural appearances in Spike Lee's Do the Right Thing in 1999. Jordan Brand relaunched the shoe as a key piece of his budding retro business. Since then, the legend has only continued. It took 17 years for the Jumpman to bring it back, the white Jordan 4s, and Nike proper Air branding on the heel. What separates this year's up-and-coming version is the meticulous process to get the classic 89 shape down to a T. Exactly. So this is the classic 89 shape, the classic AT shape, which we don't really get anymore. And I actually was wondering, going forward, I hope going forward that we're going to get to a place where Nike will retro the Nike Air Trainer and bring back that shape, because the Nike Air Trainer shape, oh, that shape from the 80s as well, that cross trainer shape, I hope they can bring that back, because that'd be fucking brilliant as well, and that actually will be a really good SB. Meticulous process to get classic 89 shape down to a T, no shade to 2016 version, but 2025 has it cleared. Fully aware of the impact of the streetwear, Jordan Brand began the Air Jordan 4 Cement 4 release through measured trickles. The shoes first launched at All-Star Weekend, blah 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 blah. The Jordan 4 Cement will finally see its global release on 24th. So yeah, look at that shape. Look at that shape. Look at that shape, mate. Look at that shape. So big up Jordan Brand. Love to fucking see it. Classic cement 4 shape, classic cement 4 colorway, mostly a white base with nice cement accents on all the plastic bits and on the midsole. But a fucking beautiful shoe nonetheless, and definitely perfect for the summer. Perfect for summer. Like with a pair of shorts during the festival season. I can't fucking wait. So nice, man. It's such a good shoe. Such a good shoe, man. Honestly, I kind of want to wear them without laces as well, if that makes any sense, you know? Just kind of do them Fresh Prince, Spike Jones kind of style, no laces. But then, unfortunately, these wings kind of flap around. But maybe there's a way to kind of stick the wings down. But I'd love to wear them without laces to kind of give them that real good look. But yeah, big up the Jordan 4s, big up the Jordan 4s. Big up people in the stream chat. What's people in the stream chat saying? I'm seeing some news here. Welcome for the stream chat. Big up Young Old Vibes. DDG restraining order for beating Halle. What? DDG cooked. You can't whoop on Disney princess. AZ Diddy rubbing semen on his nipples like lotion, and you talking about fashion. Big up Young Old Vibes. Oh my god, is that true? No way. Let me Google this right now. Let me Google this now. Big up the stream chat. Big up having one of the best stream chats in the world. I love you all. Thank you for that breaking news. You guys are the best. Big up Daniel Clements. Big up Black American. Are these a pair to wear or to collect? A pair to both, I'd say. Black American. Personally, both. I'd probably keep one. I'd probably buy both and keep one. Or buy two and keep one, sorry. No way. DDG beat up on Halle Bailey. No fucking way. Let me check this out. Let's see. Where am I going to find this news? Would Academics TV post it? Let's see if Academics TV posted it. Or maybe I can go on Glock Topics. Who posted this information? Let's see. What? Hold on. It's on TMZ. No. Fuck. DDG. Oh no. Oh no. Okay, cool. Let's see this. This girl, man. If this isn't true, this is gonna I wonder what happened between them, man. They were literally in love all over the timeline, and now they're like, the hate is so strong. What the fuck happened? Okay, cool. Let's see this. Big up the stream chat for this breaking news. I appreciate you all. You're fucking amazing. This is an exclusive. So Halle Bailey, and her team have been in contact with TMZ. They're working together because this is an exclusive. They put it there, exclusive. Halle Bailey claims DDG attacked her multiple times and gets a restraining order. So this might explain why DDG has lost custody, innit? Because I think DDG, I saw a clip of him saying that he can't see his kid anymore, or he's got very, very limited rights to see his kid. So I wonder if this is in part to do with this restraining order. Let's read the article anyway. Halle Bailey says that she had enough of DDG allegedly abusing her. She's filed a police report and now she wants court-ordered protection from the father of her child, TMZ has learned. In docs filed on Tuesday in LA, she claims things first got physical in January. They broke up back in October, and Halle says DDG came over to pick up her son Halo, or their son Halo, sorry. She tried to start a convo with the rapper about a child visitation schedule. Oh my god. Okay, two pictures here of Halle Bailey's bruises on her arms. One picture looks a lot more, one of the pictures looks darker, so the bruise looks a little bit more obvious there. The other one, you can't really see it too much, but there's a bruise on the back of her arm. That bruise looked like she kind of got grabbed really strongly. Maybe somebody grabbed her arm, you know, that sort of thing. It doesn't look like a punch, does it? It doesn't look like that's a blow. It looks like somebody grabbed her really strongly on the arm. As she was buckling Halo into the car seat, she claims DDG grew agitated and repeatedly said, "Get out of my car, bitch." Halle says the baby was crying. She got nervous about DDG leaving with him in such an agitated state. That's when they allegedly started wrestling, with DDG pulling her hair, slamming her face onto a steering wheel, and chipping her tooth. Oh, DDG, bro. Oh my god, bro. This is so bad. And he's been on social media crying and complaining, acting like he's like being taken advantage of and he's not been given any rights, and people have kind of, and you know, Halle Bailey is sort of like manipulating the situation and making him like a bad dad and shit. You can't be doing this. I understand it's frustrating. I understand they probably not got the best relationship between each other, but I said it from the beginning. I said the same thing about Ye and his issues with Kim. The internet can't help you, man. We can't do anything in these situations with baby mothers. It's always very tense and emotional, right? you have to deal with it as a man in a very calm manner. Whether you deliver it through the courts or you try to come to some sort of like cordial agreement, you have to do the work outside off the internet as a dude. Personally, I think if you've got a baby mom and you're a dude, you should treat that woman still like you're in a relationship with her. You shouldn't be treating that lady as just some person that popped out the baby. You should be doing everything that you can to make sure she's comfortable, make sure she's okay, because that's still your kid, even though you're not together anymore. Regardless if she moves on, whatever, you should still do that. And I think it also serves you well to do that and to kind of be on her good side so that you can see the kid whenever you want. Like, you might have visitation schedule that limits you to see the kid 3 times a week. But if you're on good terms with the baby mum, then she might let you see the kid 5 times a week. She might let you pop in randomly if you want, because you're on good terms. But I don't understand these guys that go on social and like say mad shit about the baby mum and then think it's gonna help them, especially dudes. Like, the courts aren't set up to fucking favor guys anyway in these situations. So you really are fucked. So you kind of have to work it for yourself and work it to your best advantage. But what you can't be doing, you can't be physically attacking or assaulting your baby mom. You really can't be doing that. No matter how much she's been driving up the wall, no matter how much she's been getting under your skin, you can't do that. Because the moment you do this, and especially nowadays, the court, you know, the actual courts don't really matter that much. It's a court of public opinion. Now you're definitely cooked. Now nobody's giving you a benefit of, like, people already on social, I feel like, hated DDG. DDG on social media doesn't have the best reputation amongst people who love Halle Bailey. For whatever reason it is, I'm not sure what it is specifically. Maybe a lot of people think Halle could have done better than DDG. I don't know. But the internet doesn't really like DDG, especially the internet that's in favor of Halle. So this is only going to make things worse. This is only going to make things worse. Fuck, man. I'm sure there's 2 sides to every story, but this doesn't look good. So far, you chipping her tooth. Halle says that she was in pain and crying, and although that stopped and the fighting, she was still worried about Halo. So she remained in the car for the ride to DDG's house, where she told his family what happened. So the family can attest to this. So this is not even like a lie. She's got witnesses. I'm sure the family won't, you know, fucking go against DDG, right? I'm sure they won't. Don't get me wrong. But on top of the pictures, we've got a picture here of her chipped tooth, which looks very chipped. And this is Halle Bailey. Do you know what I mean? This is a fucking Hollywood. This is like an industry fucking no, Hollywood. Yeah, Hollywood star. She's got nice teeth. There's no reason why her teeth will be chipped unless somebody did something to her or she fell over. So clearly that is a chipped tooth, and she definitely got witnesses because allegedly she stayed in the car and accompanied DDG and the kid over to DDG's house, and she told his family. So they are corroborating witnesses. So this definitely happened, it seems. Fuck, he's cooked. He's cooked in terms of like not seeing his kid. I don't think he's gonna go to prison or anything, to be fair. But in terms of visitation rights for his kid, he's definitely cooked. He's gonna have minimal visitation with that child. He might be on child support, that's about it. But in terms of having an active role in that kid's life, is done. Unless this turns out as one. The only benefit he might have, the only silver lining for this, the only fucking glimmer, is what happened to Kiki Palmer. Is it Kiki Palmer? Is that her name? Kiki something? Well, that girl. Do you remember when she had a bit of an issue with her guy? Her and her guy had some beef. I think she released a video footage of CCTV inside their house of them fighting and stuff. And they somehow reconciled, which is why you probably shouldn't get involved in relationships like this stuff, because they could end up making up, you know, and getting back together. You never know. But that's the only way he can come back. And even if he does come around from this, his comments and that are going to be, he's not going to hear the end of this, man. Woman abuser, woman beater. Like, he's not going to hear the end of this on social, man. He's not going to hear the end of this. Especially when he goes around acting like he's like this, I'm a girl's getter. Like, he's had some good PR lately, you know. He does some decent PR with his music and the streams, or all these random dates he's been going on with girls coming on these streams, doing kind of really good content with them, actually. The banter between him and his cameraman. I feel like DGG's had some really good PR. Just the other day I saw a clip of Drake congratulating DDG about his new album. He sold, I think, 11,000 first week, actually. Allegedly, DDG sold 11,000 first week, which I think is amazing in this current climate. So he's had great PR. This came at the worst time. Holy shit, this timing is awful. She also alleges DDG creeped her out in March when he showed up at her home, entered without permission. Whoa, DDG, whoa, brother. She alleges that DDG creeped her out in March when he showed up at her house, entered without permission, went to her bedroom and texted a pic of Haley's empty bed to... Oh my god. DDG, bro. What the fuck are you doing, geezer? Went to her bedroom and texted a pic of Haley's bed to her, along with the text, "Now I know what you've been on." Holy shit. DDG is cooked, mate. Fucking cooked. On top of allegedly physically assaulting his baby mum, he's also got allegations of being a stalker, creeper guy. Like, what the fuck is this? This is a red flag, bro. Like, this is kind of like... This is a real red flag, man. This is kind of deep. I'm not gonna lie. This is a little bit... Not to be hyperbolic and shit, or to use crazy words, but this is kind of scary, brother. I'm not gonna lie. This is kind of scary. Why are you taking a picture of her bed and sending it to her? Like, why are going for this? Haley says she interpreted the text of DDG accusing her of having sex with other people. And if she does, like, what business is that of yours? Aren't you guys broken up? DDG's on stream with like 1 million girls. Like, guys like this make me laugh, though, to be fair. If this is true, guys like this make me laugh. You break up with your baby mum because you're kind of, you know, you kind of want to do your own thing. Allegedly, that's what people say. People say DDG's the one that broke up with Haley. Allegedly. I'm not sure if that's even true, but that's what people allege. But then when she moves, then you move on and you start immediately, you know, being on stream and doing banter stuff with a bunch of girls. But then the moment she does it, you start getting madly jealous and possessive. You can't have your cake and eat it too, bro. 4 days later, she claims he really exploded when he came back to her house. Haley told him she and the baby were sick and she didn't want Halo to leave the home. She claims that's when he got verbally abusive, smashed her Ring camera and ran away with Haley's phone. As he drove off, she claims DDG threw the phone out of his window and yelled to her, "Go get it, bitch." The incident prompted Haley to go file a police report, and she says she also has a Ring camera footage to back up her side of the story. It's also around the time DDG claimed he'd been fighting to see Halo for months. I don't think there's any excuse for this kind of behavior, man. I don't think so. I know she's been driving him because she's very passive aggressive in her own way, right? She's done a few things here and there, and kind of like saying stuff on social media, clearly trying to get under his skin and shit. I know she's not an angel, but he could have dealt with this in a much better way. I think as a man, that's what you're meant to do. You're meant to, like, if she wants to get petty and say some stuff about you, you're meant to just like swallow that shit. You're meant to do, like, that's meant to be water over a duck's back, because you're meant to keep the eye on the prize as the kid, you know, and also looking after the baby mom, because she's going to be the one looking after the kid for the most part. So you have to kind of do away with getting offended or getting annoyed by those things, just kind of looking at the bigger picture. And I think DDG could have dealt with this away from the internet way better. But I never really agreed with him weaponizing the internet to try and get custody for that kid anyway. It was always a fool's errand, especially because he's not that well liked on social media, and she's a fucking darling princess of social, especially for a certain demographic. He was never ever gonna win the court of public opinion. No, he was never gonna win it. And now there's evidence that he's actually abused this woman. Whew. It's looking kind of peaky for him. DDG confronts Haley over Brent. Wow, they got text message. Oh God Almighty! They've got iMessages of him basically posting that post that everyone saw on social about her dating Brent Fires. What's the text says? "This is foul, bet." Okay, so I guess DDG, that's DDG's name, right? Daryl Granberry. His text to her. So he took a screenshot of the tweet that shows allegedly people were alleging that Haley was on holiday with her sister and Brent Fires, And I guess the bad mind bit about that is that people were getting up. No, on I think what was it? What was the issue? Oh, I think the issue was that DDG said that Halle told him he couldn't take their kid on holiday, but then she pops up on the gram with her sister and allegedly Brent Faiyaz hiding, going on holiday together. I don't like. Again, I don't think that's a social media thing. You know, yes, it's a bit of a piss take if that's true what DDG said. Yes, it's a bit of a piss take and a little bit out of order. If Halle did tell DDG, hey, I don't feel comfortable you taking my kid on holiday. He shouldn't be going on holiday. He's too young. And then suddenly she's going to fucking Bora Bora with fucking her sister and Brent Faiyaz, right? I understand that's gonna hurt your feelings, but I also don't think you should deal with that shit on social media. Like that should be dealt with privately, away from the cameras, away from the feed. And it's also not that big of a deal, you know. Like I don't know. You get next, innit? Just use that in your advantage. Just make sure that you get the next round. So she goes on holiday with the kid this time to Bora Bora. Then you get the turn next time to go away with the kid. You know? You can use it for your advantage. Anyway, he took that screenshot of that tweet showing Halle Bailey and Brent Faiyaz maybe in the same area or in the same place at the same time. He texted and said to her, "You think you hurting my feelings when you really just ruining your own image. This is a terrible look. Makes you look disgusting and evil. Enjoy your vacation. Happy Mother's Day, but just have the same energy when it's my turn to have him. I'm on the same shit." Again, can you blame him for that text though? Can you blame him for that text? I don't think that makes him look bad. Can you blame him? Like if he requested to take his kid on holiday and she said, no, you're not allowed, which is already weird because that's also his child. Why should she tell him? Why does she have the say so on where that kid goes? You know, why doesn't he have equal say so if he's also the dad? You know, but whatever. She says no, he can't go on holiday. Maybe he's too young. Maybe he's ill. Whatever. He hasn't got his vaccines. I don't know. Then suddenly she pops up in the Seychelles with the kid and allegedly her new fling. I don't understand why he's pissed off. You know, I don't understand why he'd be annoyed. So I don't think that paints him in a bad light. I just think, you know, he wants to hang out with his kid, and it's actually a refreshing thing because he's like, although the images above are not good, he's technically fighting to see his child, you know? I know the images above are not the best. It shows bruises on her arms. She's got a chipped tooth, but at least he's fighting to see his child, I guess. Maybe, if that's a silver lining. Kinda. You don't have to abuse your baby mom to do that, but, you know, at least he cares, I guess. For Halle, though, the final straw came just last weekend when she said she was vacationing with Halo and her sister in St. Lucia. Okay, it was St. Lucia, not Bora Bora. My bad. She says DDG texted her links to social media posts claiming she was on the island with singer Brent Faiyaz. Halle replied, "Not with any man out here. I wouldn't do that. I have Halo. Please let me enjoy my Mother's Day in peace. I hope you are okay and feel better soon." How does this happen anyway, man? How do people go from being so madly in love, having a whirlwind romance, giving birth to a beautiful child, and then suddenly end up hating each other to this extent? Because I feel like they're both trying to bury each other. Like they both hate each other. Both of them hate each other. Legitimately, you can tell. There's so much contempt on both sides. Like, how does that happen? How does that go from like super duper starry-eyed love, a beautiful child, to suddenly like, you know what I mean? Like this, where you're trying to get the person ruined. You're trying to ruin the person. And it's almost like Halle doesn't care because in theory, you'd want to protect DDG's image because he's also the father of your child. So you want to make sure that he's okay to kind of support your child. But I guess Halle is so up, she doesn't give a fuck. You know what I mean? But it's like, God damn it, man. Like, relationships are a weird thing, isn't it? One moment you're loving each other, you're all over each other, and next minute you're literally trying to end each other's careers through TMZ. Mad. The judge granted Halle a domestic violence restraining order, requiring DDG to stay 100 yards away from her, and gave her permission to take nearly 18 months. No, and gave her the permission to take nearly 18 months Halo to Italy, where she'll be filming a movie for 2 months. DDG also has to stop posting or streaming about her and their child. Wow, that's smart from her. So he can't talk about her anymore anyway, or the kid. Hailey claims her ex has been whipping up fans into a frenzy by trashing her when he live streams. Which DDG, we've reached out for comment, no word back yet. Oh, this guy is cooked, man. Yeah, be up your old advice. Exactly. That's what I said. He should have took her to the court instead of the internet. Exactly. He fucked. Like, I never believe either side when it comes to these domestic disputes and shit. I think people are quick to kind of push out things on social that make them look good, right? In these sort of issues. I'm never going to pick sides, and plus it's none of my business. But I think as a man, you owe it to yourself to try and deal with this stuff privately behind the scenes, or just go straight to the courts. You can't win on the internet. You're not going to win because number one, you left this girl, you know, you're already like, people on social media are probably even pissed off that they're not married, you know, or that DDG didn't propose to her or something. So he's already not in the best, you know, he's already not got the best reputation amongst people because of that. Then you leave this girl and she's kind of painted as this, like, you know, damsel in distress. She's got a kid and she's like looking after the kid technically by herself. And now you're doing all this stuff. Oh, God almighty. Well, I guess you'll figure it out in the end. I guess you'll figure it out. I want to see what people on social saying. Did I check here? What are people on social? I want to see what people on social media are saying. Academics TV, what they're saying. Academics predicted Hailey would abuse DDG. Hailey would accuse DDG of abuse. Really? Big up Academics. Academics predicted this. When did he predict this?
I see you trying to defend her. That's a good move, by the way, but let me tell you what happens next. If she can't paint you as a deadbeat dad, which you're not, I'm going to warn you this. The next step is for her to say you were abusive. I want to be very clear. And she just tried, yo, why is my baby dad doing that? And I don't approve of it. Nobody bit. And unless you about to get back with her and go into whatever regime she wants you to get down with, her next attempt will not be as fluky. Women like this don't stop. You've dodged this one, but you got to wait for the bigger one she about to do. Somebody said, Halle not motherfucking evil? You fucking stupid as hell, nigga. She would have never posted this nigga if she wasn't on that type of topic. Women are only loyal to their emotions. That's I see you.
Wow. Academics predicted it. Predicted it to a T. Damn, man. That is crazy. God damn it. God damn it. God damn it. God damn it. Well, DDG, you've got you got some explaining to do, my friend. What's this breaking? DDG and Aiden Russell median reaction to finding out Halle Bailey came out and said DDG beat her. What's this? Who said this? Let's see this.
Oh, fuck me. Fuck all that. Fuck all that.
Wow.
Fuck all that, bro. Fuck all that.
Wow.
But that can't even be real. That's the thing.
But don't even. But you remember we talked about last night? Fuck all that.
Wow.
Let me say something. It's not
No, I'm saying, but I don't know where that even came from.
Yo, stop.
DDG finding out on stream. By the way, big up Charles Jeffrey Loverboy. I love the Charles Jeffrey Loverboy hats. I've got the fucking streets on lock. I fucking love it. Big up Charles Jeffrey Loverboy. One of the nicest designers out there as well, by the way. Big up Charles Jeffrey.
Stop these fake allegations. This is a father. This is a real person. It's a good human being.
Even, but I don't.
But hey, bro, we on stream, bro.
Come on, like I gotta be.
Just don't do it, bro. Come here.
Don't even make no
Fuck
sense.
all that. That's my real friend. We're not gonna do no false shit to ruin this stream. He's a great human being. He does a lot for a lot of people. He's a man. He's a father, and we're gonna respect him. We're gonna love him. WDD.
Mad, isn't it? It's mad that random streamers have more backbone and have more dignity and stand by their friends than comedians, isn't it? Like, even if he's in the wrong, they're still 10 toes standing, you know, by their guy. Aiden Russ right on stream here, backing up DDG. Chris D'Elia, Brian Callen, all those guys, when they went down, they were so quick to throw each other under the bus. These literal children are teaching these guys a little lesson about loyalty, innit, and brotherhood. That's kind of funny.
And fuck anyone that got anything to say.
Fuck the fake narratives, my nigga. Stop the bullshit. We don't want to hear that shit, bro. That shit is fake.
Listen to R. Kelly.
Okay, let's go. We're going to see him.
Madness. Big up Black American again. You really believe that this is about the child? What do you think it's about then, Black American? Do you think this is not about the child? Do you think she's just jealous, or she's just annoyed that DDG kind of left her and she's trying to use the child to get back at him? Is that what you think? Is that the narrative? I could believe that. She's maybe because DDG did move on. That's another thing as well. Like, I don't know. I think as a man, you have to do so much to appease women in these situations because the emotions are so raw. You know, like you break up with your baby mum and you move on quickly, and you're out and about with women and shit. She's gonna hate you, justifiably so, and she's gonna do some things to make your life hell. So you probably owe it to yourself and to your child to not maybe move on as quickly as you'd probably want to, especially not out front, you know, in center, in HD 10K in public. Maybe play a bit coy, maybe not, you know what I mean? Don't be on stream with Wendy fucking Martinez, whoever her fucking name is, and or whatever, all these like hot girls online with beer and shit. Maybe play a little bit cool, you know? Maybe don't be straight up there again because you're gonna annoy her. I know it doesn't make any sense because you're almost kind of like cuckolding yourself, but you've got a child, innit? You kind of have to keep your eye on the child for the most part and see if you can kind of fix that situation so you can just see the kid. But it's mad, man. It's fucking mad. She's a mother. Your kid is not clout shield. Exactly. Black American control. Bit of younger vibes. She's jealous. Yeah, young and old vibes. If she big up MRM. She also spoke about feeling fat and ugly, and he ain't helping hanging out with tens. Yeah, exactly. That's the thing. Like DDG's been hanging out with some legit baddies. Like he's been. I think he didn't DDG do a stream with like India Love? Am I not mistaken? Didn't he do a stream with India Love? He did a studio stream with Bia, and Bia in the studio stream said that she basically alluded to the fact that Haley didn't let Bia and DDG go on stream before because she felt uncomfortable. He did a stream with that Wendy girl, some other Latina girl. Like, who was that girl recently he was on stream with, where she was wearing this really tight dress and he was like growling like a dog? He's been on, like, I don't know, man. I don't know if that's wise. You got your baby mom at home and you're trying to see the kid, and here you are, like, with these legit fucking tens on stream who are all really happy to see you. They seem to be flirting with you. They seem to be really having a good time. You have to fucking play it quite cool, man. You have to pick up postpartum. Yeah, I don't think she's jelly. I think she was hurt, moved on, and he's got that Offset mindset. I think it's a bit of both. I think everyone's right here in the stream chat. I think maybe in the beginning she was hurt and was trying to get back at him, but then typical like these kind of dudes are, like DDG. He moved on and he was like shoving it in her face, and she had to eat it. But in the moment she moved on, because think about it, the rumors about her dating Brent Fires only started recently, and then suddenly he started to become a little more possessive and started to get jealous, which isn't fair because I don't know, she's been linked with one guy since they broke up. He's been seen on camera with fucking 17 million baddies, and he gets jealous of a one dude, you know? That's a little bit, you know what I mean? That's a little bit mad. So I think it probably was on both sides. They probably both had their moments where they're being super toxic, but then now the situation's at where it's at. So sad situation all around. Really, really is. Again, because there's a kid in the middle of this, obviously. But it just goes to show, man, if you've got a baby mum, you have to play it like, I mean, you have to just play sensible. You can't be like getting on their nerves like this. You really can't be doing that. But again, what do I know? What do I know? What do I know? Quickly before we leave, let me just do one more story here regarding Cassie and this freak off shit, right? It's fucking wild. Fucking wild. So Cassie's been in court on the first day today giving evidence. She arrived looking very, 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 very pregnant. There's no cameras actually in the courtroom, which is why we got these sketches, but I did see a video of her leaving her house or hotel, I think, looking like she was about to explode. So for Diddy, he's kind of fucked, you know, having a woman on stand, heavily pregnant, crying, and remembering all the fucking abusive stuff he'd done to her over the years. I don't think it's going to go well for Diddy in court at all, actually. I'm sure his defense are going to try to paint her out to be a willing participant, but I think the optics don't really sit right. She's very much moved on from that freak off era. She's settled down with one of the models that she was hooking up with actually during the freak off, which is kind of wild in itself, but they're married. The Alex dude, they have 3 kids, 1 on the way, or they have 2 kids, sorry, 1 on the way. Yeah, it's not gonna look good. It doesn't look good optics wise for Diddy. But the latest update is this, courtesy of The Guardian. This is some key takeaways from the court case. It says Sean Diddy Combs sex trafficking trial. Key takeaways from Cassie Ventura's first day of testimony. So let's see what the key takeaways are here. Ventura provided a detailed explanation of the freak-offs, which were mostly weekly. Could you imagine a weekly freak-off? Like, I remember there was a time, right? I think when it's like when you first start having sex, where you think like, the more you do it, the better it is, right? You just do it loads and loads, and you get to a certain age where like you just start picking quality over quantity. But could you imagine getting involved in like weekly orgies? Could you imagine how exhausting that is? There's no way you can do a weekly orgy without no drugs. You have to have some sort of drugs. You have to be stimulated in some way. There's no way you can be doing that straight off of zinc. You know, you can't be doing that straight off the power of zinc. You have to be on some other stuff. There's no way just zinc is going to power you through there. You have to be on some other sort of gear, I'd imagine. You know, again, I'd imagine. I'm not too sure, but I'd imagine. Ventura described Combs' infamous freak-offs as hiring of the escort and setting up her experience so that I could perform for Sean, adding that it allowed Combs to watch me with the other person and actually direct us on what we were doing. Eventually became a job for me, pretty much. Let me read that one more time. Ventura describes Combs' infamous freak-offs, quote-unquote, as the, quote, the hiring of an escort and setting up this experience so that I could perform for Sean. So he actually liked to see her get fucked, basically, like a cuck. Adding that it allowed Combs to watch me with other person and actually direct us on what we were doing. That's a part I didn't know, which I found out through the court case. Like, Diddy was like directing them. Like, no, you do this, you do that. He would even check if they finished, like if a guy finished, or I think some guy basically said that Diddy would go as far as like checking if he actually nutted and shit. Eventually became a job for me, pretty much. It continues. She would find the escorts through classified such as Craigslist, Backpage, and later a service called Cowboys for Angels. The escorts are paid in cash, typically $1,500 to $6,000, and Combs provided drugs for those involved, including ecstasy, cocaine, marijuana, ketamine, and mushrooms. Yo, I remember Craigslist, bro. Who remember Craigslist? Yo, oh, I have some stories about Craigslist, bro. That's some real freak boy shit. If you know about Craigslist listings. Craigslist classified, Craigslist, what were they called? Were they confidentials? I forgot what they were called, but if you know about that Craigslist era. Jesus Christ, mate. Jesus Christ. Anyway, less said about that the better. Noted that her first freak-off occurred in Combs' Los Angeles home when she was 22, around 2008. That they became almost a weekly occurrence. Her final one occurred in either 2017 or 2018. They were so frequent she can't remember the year. Jesus Christ, man. Combs, Diddy basically got her when she first got into the industry, right? He kind of nabbed her straight off of fucking Ryan Leslie. She was 22, green as fuck, and then exposed her to fucking freak off straight off the bat. It's actually a miracle that she's kind of turned out like regular and shit, and hasn't kind of gone super deep into that world and become a real full-time deviant. Because it's, you know, to be exposed to that sort of stuff and then decide to settle down with husbands, obviously it happens, but it's a credit to her, man, to be honest, because usually those type of things can corrupt you forever. The freak-offs will take place in various places, including New York City, Miami, Los Angeles, Atlanta, Las Vegas, Ibiza, Turks and Caicos, Ventura said, and adding that she or Tony Fletcher, a bad boy employee, would book the rooms. They'll do so under pseudonyms such as Frank Black or Frank White. To be fair, those locations sound like fun places to go and do freak-offs. I'm not gonna lie. If you're into that freak-off type of shit, go and do them in New York City, Miami, Los Angeles, Atlanta, Las Vegas, Ibiza, Turks and Caicos. That sounds like fun. Weirdly enough, the freak-offs were so intense that it would take days to recover from them. Fucking hell, this is brutal. Honestly, a pregnant woman having to give evidence like this is just diabolical, really, isn't it, man? Fuck, man. God bless that woman. Over time, Ventura said freak-offs were not something that she wanted to do, as they made her feel, quote, horrible and worthless, and they could last 2 or more days, sometimes with no sleep. Jesus Christ, she has to be on gear. You have to be on something. Still, she told the court, quote, I was in love and wanted to make him happy. I didn't know what no could turn into. The things women would do to make men happy, and then men don't understand that they're just doing it to make you happy and just to kind of maybe pull your foot off the pedal and not be so fucking insistent on it. Jesus Christ, man. Freakos became a job where there was no space to do anything else but recover, she told the court, adding that the freakos would sometimes last days and take her days to recover. Ventura noted that Combs would use the videos he took of her during those freak-offs as a blackmail material. Wow. So he recorded these freak-offs for obviously, you know, pleasure and shit, but then he also used them as a way to kind of blackmail her. So if she tried to like say she's gonna leave or she doesn't want to do it anymore, he'd obviously threaten her. And again, at that time when she's like 22, she's new in the industry, she's trying to make a name for herself, he'd probably threaten to kind of put it out there and destroy her career. Controlling behavior, man. I felt pretty horrible about myself. I felt disgusting. I felt humiliated, she said. The quote, I didn't have the words to show how horrible I felt. I couldn't talk to anyone about it. Yeah, exactly. I'd imagine it was, you probably have to deal with that by yourself because you're too embarrassed to tell anybody else, and you're also scared about who might find out. As Ventura was expected to take part in the freak-offs even while menstruating. Okay, this is too much, man. This has gone dark. As Ventura was expected to take part in the freak-offs even while menstruating, and Combs would sometimes direct her to urinate on her. Combs would sometimes direct someone to urinate on her. Bedsheets during these encounters could be covered in blood and urine. She said she didn't want that to happen, but you don't have a lot of control in that moment. I just felt humiliated. I was disgusting. It was too much. Jesus Christ. Diddy, man. This is just... God, this is your girlfriend, bro. Honestly, like, I kind of understand doing this stuff with like random slaws and like ladies of the night and whatever else, and like, this is your girlfriend, bro. Like, at one point, what does she feels like, what are you doing, bro? Combs, number 3, Combs' violence throughout Ventura's relationship with him caused constant fear. Ventura depicted Combs' tempestuous moods and resulting violence he could inflict on her if she didn't act a certain way. She said that she never knew if he would show up at her home in Los Angeles happy or yelling, prompting her to have constant stomach in the knots moments. Make the wrong face and the next thing I knew, I would get hit in the face, she said. He would say, watch your mouth. Jesus Christ. Yeah, that you can definitely hear him saying that. She testified that he would drag, kick, and even stomp on her, later noting that she would agree to things that she didn't want to do for fear of how he'd react if she said no. I didn't want him to be upset or not to trust me. He was a very scary person. He could be violent. Upon being asked how many times Combs threw her to the ground during their relationship, as seen in 2016 Hotel, Ventura said, too many to count. Number 4, Ventura's music career and entire life was in Combs' hands. Ventura said Mr. Combs, Diddy, controlled a lot of her life, including her career, how she dressed, how she spoke. She directed Combs to the court as a polarizing person. She described, Combs to the court as a polarizing person. Over time, she began to experience his abusive side, the controlling side, adding that his mood would vary to day, which affected her greatly. Combs even preferred Ventura to groom herself a specific way. He wanted her nails painted white or with French tips, her hair combed a certain way, and even suggested she get breast implants. Fucking hell. I had to look a certain way during freak-offs, she said, noting that his remarks on her appearance impacted her confidence. Combs and his team would periodically take away her laptop or phone. It depended on how long I was being punished for. There's no way he's getting away with this, man. There's no way he's getting away with this. Decisions about her career also had to go through Combs, which Ventura said left her manager, James Cruz, to manage her with one hand tied behind his back. He sounds like a real fucking monster, man. Number 5, Combs kept guns in her home and repeatedly forced Ventura to handle them. Ventura recalled that Combs had guns in safes in multiple homes, which alarmed her. She cited one particular incident during which Combs made her carry one of the guns, something he did on multiple occasions, which terrified her. That incident involved Combs pursuing his longtime rival Suge Knight. We were having freak-offs in one of his homes in LA, and he said Suge was at the Mel's Diner, and we packed up and drove down there. I was screaming and crying, please don't do anything stupid. I didn't know what he was going to do. So Diddy went there covered in baby oil, probably still got a boner, and with the blicky to go and run down on fucking Suge Knight. Yo, Diddy's a fucking wild boy. Diddy's a fucking wild fucking boy. Jesus Christ. Yeah, there's no way he's getting away with this, man. There's absolutely no way he's getting away with this. This sounds heinous. This sounds crazy. The fact that this woman is still alive is a miracle. I'm not gonna lie. If you think about it, given everything that she went through, and given, you know, the power this guy has, his propensity for violence and his mood swings and shit, it's actually a miracle that she's still alive. Wow. So yeah, that's the latest update. And then I guess there's another update here as well regarding the baby oil. This is courtesy of TMZ. It says Cassie recalling her first free cup, and she says the drugs and alcohol and a bunch of baby oil was involved. She said Diddy brought up voyeurism at some point in their first year together, and she was 22 years old when she agreed to her first have a freak off. Telling the jury she agreed and she wanted to make him happy. Cassie says the freak off happened at one of Diddy's homes in Los Angeles. She's testified that she took ecstasy and drank alcohol before the freak off, and said that Diddy's idea to disguise themselves, she wore a masquerade mask. Cassie said that there was at least 2 sessions of the freak offs, and the sessions with the escort. She told the jury that she felt dirty and confused and knew Diddy was happy with her. She also said that she felt like she couldn't say no to the freak offs because she didn't want to make Diddy angry, upset. Cassie testified that the freak offs became more frequent, happening weekly for years. She told the jury that it was impossible to recall all the freak offs. Cassie testified that she told Diddy that she didn't want to practice and participate in the freak offs, gently broaching the subject and Diddy with Diddy because she didn't want to anger him. She says the freak offs happened in Diddy's homes. Cassie testified about the supplies needed for the freak off. Astroglide, personal lubricant. What the fuck is Astroglide? I've never heard this. Como se dice Astroglide? Is that, what is that? Oh, it's a lubricant. It's actually a lubricant. Astroglide is enhanced your pleasure for you and for the ones you love. Our special formula not only lubricates but also acts as a vaginal moisturizer. Vaginal moisturizer. Yo, Diddy's a wild boy. Astroglide is water-based, water-soluble, condom compatible. This product is not a spermicide or contraceptive. Condoms, Johnson baby oil. She said Diddy told her that she needed to use baby oil so she'd be glistening. So I guess he wasn't okay. So people are mistaking. People mistake the baby oil for lube. So Diddy wasn't using baby oil for lube. Diddy was using the baby oil because he liked to see people fucking but looking shiny. Maybe it's his 90s, early 2000s fucking aesthetic. He liked people. He liked when he's watching Cassie do the freak offs. He wants everyone to look like they're sweating, basically. They're glistening and shit. Okay, now I get it. Because baby oil is not a very good lubricant, I'd imagine. It's probably going to be, it's quite harmful, I'd imagine, too, in certain situations. Cassie testified that there was once a kiddie pool filled with baby oil during a freak off in a hotel, and she got into the pool at Diddy's request. Could you imagine the hotel staff that have to clean that? Could you imagine working in a hotel and you have to clean a kiddie pool full of fucking baby oil? The things hotel staff have to put up with, man. The things they see in rooms. She told the jury Diddy expected her to do freak offs on her period, even though she didn't want to. So yeah, that's the story. Again, not the best way to end the podcast, but hopefully you've got an update there regarding the Diddy and Cassie case. Absolutely frightening, scary shit, but hopefully you've got an update there. Anyway, those of you tuning into the stream, thank you for tuning in. Thank you for tuning into the podcast. I appreciate all of you. This is the end. To end the show, I'm going to play my song of the day. For those of you listening via the podcast app, you will hear my song of the day playing vis-a-vis the podcast app. The song of the day is going to be by the one and the only DESTIN CONRAD featuring KEHLANI. The song is called Bad Bitches. It's on his recent album that's just actually dropped recently, I think the other week, called Love on Digital. It's one of those tracks I love. It's like a mix of like R&B with a dance, like it's a dance record with tinges of R&B into it, which I wish that was a genre. I wish that was a thing you could hear more often, but I feel like we get enough of it anyway recently as well, especially with I forgot her name as well. Jessie Rodriguez, I think, had a track as well similar to this. But this particular track, I've been smashing it the last couple of days since I've heard it. It's absolutely phenomenal. It's called Bad Bitches featuring DESTIN CONRAD and KEHLANI. KEHLANI's mixtape from last year, I've been also smashing that, so you guys know how much I love KEHLANI. So I really recommend you check this out. One of my favorite tracks that I've been playing in the last few days. Incredible hybrid of dance music and R&B. I love Destin Conrad's voice, and KEHLANI kind of complements this tune really fucking well. So big up Destin Conrad and big up KEHLANI. For those of you watching via the live stream, don't leave. This will obviously redirect you to the random show, and I'll start that in about 5 minutes. Thank you for tuning into the Agostino Zinga Show, episode number 99905. It's been a pleasure to have your company. Never a chore, always a flipping pleasure, and I'll see you guys again very, very soon. Take care for now. Peace, peace, peace.